Let's bring in outstanding head coach of the Lady Crusaders at Central Catholic, Tim Vandervaart, to the show, 1310 WDPN. Coach Tim, good afternoon. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, man. Good to have you. Hey, first of all, congratulations on that wild win last night. And second of all, take us through. We had talked a couple of minutes earlier today. Talk about the philosophy, the strategy, and what happened there down the stretch and how you guys pulled that out.
Strategy for the game was to limit their threes. They're coached so well. Coach Rick Geiser, he's an amazing coach. He's been to the Final Four twice, I believe, 2021, 2022. Always, like his team knows their sets, their movements. Like they're really hard to guard, and every kid shoots it. So. We play high pressure defense. Like we don't like to let people run sets. We don't like people be free to take shots. So, we said, look, girls, you got to get over screens. You got to switch things out. You got to be ready to hedge and recover. We gave some layups early, had some silly turnovers early. Got down, 30-19 after three. And so the strategy was, look, just keep doing it. Believe in who we are, right? Some people say, why didn't you foul, right? Why didn't you foul, play the free throw game? Why didn't you go to a zone, right? Like different things. But when you don't practice those things all year round, you don't leave who you are. And we just said, girls, look, just more pressure, crank it, random doubling, random, shifting and rotating. And, they created a bunch of turnovers. I think we wore them down a little bit, and then we hit some shots. Ellie Buckler hit 2 threes, Sarah Belton hit a 3. Later in the game, Grace Vandervaart had a great pull-up. Lily Belton had an and 1. Like the offensive, flow just kind of came. And, you keep looking at, you're down by 11, then you're down by 8, then you're down by 7, then 6, and you're just starting to bleed more and more. There's time. And got a big turnover with like 40 or 30 some seconds to go. And then that's when set up Ellie Buckler's heroics. We actually drew up a play that kind of put Lily Belden and Grace Vandervaart. Ellie was supposed to just pick one. We ran an action. They're either going to switch out on Grace or they're going to stay tight to Lily. And we said, look, don't put in your mind one or the other. Just be the senior point guard you are and just see which one's free. And we told Grace, if it goes to Lily, go back door. And we told, Grace, if they stay with Lily, catch it and shoot it. And it went to Lily. Grace went back door. Lily threw it. They plugged it. Grace turned around with it, and Ellie was right there, and she threw it to her. And with the confidence of a senior, Ellie let it fly, and that thing hit the rim and up, and the rest is history. And it was an amazing finish.
That was a great celebrate. Of course, you still had to finish things out there defensively, and then you did that. You got a free throw there to kind of cap it off. But man, what was the I assume there was a little mini celebration after the game last night on the floor, maybe in the locker room, because hey, you're one win away from going to the promised land. So I'm sure there was a little excitement over at Lake last night for you.
Yeah. Last year our goal was cut down a net, right? Like, let's get to the regionals, right? The school hadn't been there in 10 years, right? 9 years, I think it was actually. And we knew we had the talent to do it. And ironically enough, we had to beat the same Waynedale team last year. And it was a grind then too, right? And we got there. And this year, being much more experienced, having 7 seniors, Grace is a very experienced junior. Obviously, we have the freshman with us, but it's not easy. Getting to the Final Four is not easy. I'm blessed enough to have done it twice in college and once in high school, twice as a coach, once as a player. And it's not an easy thing, but we told the girls it's possible, right? You are a good enough team. It's possible, right? When you get to the regionals, every team is going to be good. Waynedale is a great team, right? Smithville is a great team. People look at Smithville's record and they'll be like, they're 16-10. Like, you guys are going to blow them out of the water. No, we're not. Like, you look at their losses. They've lost to Norway twice. Who's in the regional finals? They've lost to Chippewa twice. Who's in the regional finals? They've lost to us already once. Who's in the regional finals? Like, they got losses to amazing teams, right? So they're no chump. They're a great team with a great coach, with a great program, great history. And we just told the girls, keep plugging away, right? And now they're in a situation where it is possible, right? They're in another net game. And like you said, it's one more game to that promised land. And they're dialed in, and they're going to come to compete. Smithville's going to come to compete. The first game we played was 6 points. It was 43-37. Mm-hmm. We were up early. They took the lead. We took it back. It's like what great games are, right? And it was back and forth, and we pulled away at the end. So it wasn't like either side dominated the other team in that game. There was the 22nd game of the year, ironically enough. So it was on Valentine's Day. And both sides remember, and both sides are going to try to make adjustments to, us to keep that lead we had and them to get that lead back so that they go down.
Saturday, 4:30 p.m. at Lake High School. We'd love to see a big crowd of Crusaders over there. That's 4:30 Saturday, Central Catholic Smithville Regional Championship, a trip to Dayton on the line. Tim Vandervaart is our guest, the outstanding head girls basketball coach of the Lady Crusaders at Central Catholic. You talked about, the schedule that Smithville played. You guys, 21-5 on the season, but what a schedule you play as an independent. You got to take on all comers. You got to fill up the slate. And that you are prepared for anything at this time of year, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, like when I took over the program, 6 years ago, and I got hired as head coach, the program has great history, unbelievable history. And, it was just on the down kind of slope. The numbers weren't great in the program. The kids in there were great kids, awesome kids who still come back, but basketball wasn't the first sport or their major interest. And, we just kind of had to kind of turn that a little bit. And so our schedule, when I first took over, it wasn't the greatest. We'll admit that. We were playing other smaller schools like us, D6s, D7s, I guess at the time was D4s because there weren't the 7 divisions. Mm-hmm. But as we got more kids into the program, more serious as the program, we said, if we're going to truly turn this back to where it was in the past, we got to play the big schools and we got to challenge the girls and show them this is the next level. This is outside the bubble. And this year we had 16 teams of our 22 that were D2 through D4, right? We played Massillon, we lost to Norton, we lost to Hoover, right? Like 12 of the teams we played were in the district championship, 5 were in the regionals. Like these are big schools. Talmadge, they were huge. Talmadge was like 6'2", 5'11", 5'9". I mean, just a massive team, right? And you don't see that in the D6 level a whole lot. And so when the girls went through all those games, they were battle tested. So a game like last night with a physical defensive team, but they weren't 6'2", right? They weren't 6 foot. The girls were like, we've been against physical teams that were even taller. And we truly believe that playing that schedule now is preparing us for where we are right now, and it's the girls understand that, there's always a better opponent out there to make you better and not to be afraid of anybody, but you got to be ready for anybody.
Tim Vandervaart is our guest. You guys are on a roll now. Your last, you haven't lost since, this is the 7th of February. In succession, you beat Ellett, Smithville, East Palestine, Kirtland, Mapleton, and Waynedale. And you've got one more, which would be lucky number 7. That'll be coming up Saturday at 4:30 at Lake against Smithville. Coach, we got about a minute and a half. I'm actually going to go over the 6 o'clock here by a couple of minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just, again, the names of the young ladies, especially those incredible seniors that are kind of leading the way here, shout them out a little bit before we wrap it up.
Yeah. The ones that we have 7 seniors. 5 of them have been with us the whole time. A couple of them have only played a couple of years, but the 5 that have been here the whole time, Lily Belden, she's 2-time All-State. She's 1,100 career points. She had 15 in the district final, 12 last night. Like she's a catalyst, right? Sarah Belden, she's our motor. She's everywhere, right? All the time. She's rebounds, she's steals, she's assists, she's points. Like that kid is just, she's all over the place, and she does so many things for us. She's a lot of times our heartbeat out there. Ellie Buckler, she's top 5 all time in assists, and Sarah Belden's 3 short of it. So we're gonna have 2 girls in the history of the school, top 5 all time in assists. Those 3 have been the catalyst for a long time. Sarah Schmidt and Jilly Stevens are the other 2 that have been with us, for all 4 years off the bench. Do great things. Both great shooters. Jilly Stevens is one of the best passers around. Sarah Schmidt had some amazing plays last night. Like she didn't score a point, but she had 2 chase downs. Tipped them out of bounds, stop fast breaks, like the small things, right? The 2 that we got for a couple years, Audrey Studeni and Molly Marceric. Molly Marceric is a jitterbug. She had 13 points the last time we played Smithville. She had 3 threes, a couple other buckets. She was huge. Defensive stalwart herself. Audrey Studeni is an unbelievable kid. Doesn't get into to the games a whole lot, but she's the greatest teammate ever from the greatest family, and she just wants to be a part of it, and she is, and she works her hardest in practice every day. Those 7 seniors are so amazing. The other 2 who see rotation. Grace Vandervaart, she's 2-time All-State herself. Big catalyst. She got first team All District, which was voted on and announced. The other girls got honors as well. Lily Belden, Sarah Belden, and Ellie Buckler also got them. But Grace is going to be a 1,000-point scorer. She's like 100 away, 117, I think, is the exact number. She's going to be top 5 all-time assists, top 5 all-time steals. Like, she's going to be all over the record books. And then Aubrey Harris Hall is obviously our new coming freshman. All the potential in the world. Can guard a guard out on the perimeter, which she proved last night. She can get tons of rebounds, finish inside. Her ceiling is through the roof, and the girls love her. She fell in right with the group. It could be tough being like the youngest kid with 8 upperclassmen, but the girls love her. She's a great teammate. She doesn't try to do too much. She follows their lead, but she's not afraid to impact the game when she needs to. So, it's an awesome team, and we're blessed to coach them, and we're hoping for the best the rest of the way.
No doubt. Coach, sounds like you got one heck of a group there, and we wish you nothing but the best. Appreciate you coming on today. And, hey, Saturday, 4:30, let's get a huge crowd over there. Let's get a pro crew crowd over at Lake as they take on Smithville, and they win it. The Lady Crusaders are off to the state tournament. Tim Vandervaart, head coach, Canton Central Catholic Girls. All the best, my friend. Take care and go get them on Saturday, okay?
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. We look forward to seeing you guys and other people. Hope everyone comes Saturdays, 4:30, like you said, Lake High School.
You got it. Thanks, Coach Tim. There he goes, Coach Tim Vandervaart of the Crusaders.